Hi guys, okay, welcome to this latest podcast. So we are continuing with marketing, and the next part of marketing that we're going to look at is product. Now, product is one of the 4 P's, part of the marketing mix, and just to go over that again guys, the 4 P's which we've looked at before are price, product, promotion and place. So the first one of the 4 P's we're going to look at is product, and first of all we're going to look at the product life cycle. Now, this is a life cycle. This is basically the stages that all products go through from the very beginning when they're developed right through until the end when they decline and they are no more. Now, what I want to draw your attention to first of all, which is really important with the product life cycle, are the axes along the bottom and up the side. So on the x-axis across the bottom we have time. Up here we have sales. So what is the product life cycle? Well, it shows the relationship of sales over time. Okay? So it's really important if you do get asked the question about the product life cycle that you are referring to both sales against time, because that is what the product life cycle is showing. Now, the very first stage of the product life cycle is what we call development or research and development. Now, if we see on here at research and development, there are no sales. Why are there no sales? Well, it's because we haven't made the product yet. We haven't even started selling it. We're designing it, we're testing it, okay, we're creating the latest product ready to be launched. If we think about Apple, okay, when I'm filming this now, the current iPhone is the iPhone 7. Okay, so what is Apple currently developing at the moment? Well, it's just released the iPhone 7, so the next one that is developing will be the 7S and the 8. Okay, so they haven't been released yet, they're just being developed. They're being designed, they're being tested, etc. So here we have the product being launched, and at launch, as we can see, sales start to increase. So as time goes along, sales start to go up, but sales aren't going up that quickly. Why are sales not going up that quickly? Well, for most products, most people haven't really heard of it yet, so sales are just starting to increase, they're just starting to go up when the product's launched. Then we have this period here, and this is growth. And in growth, what is happening is the sales are going up very, very rapidly. Everybody's knowing about the product's doing very, very well, it's successful, and lots of people are buying this particular product, which is fantastic, okay? Now here, just like, so you guys are growing at the minute and you're getting bigger, sales are going up. Here would be classed as maturity. Now maturity would be like being an adult, yeah? Once you become an adult, you start to level off, you stop growing. So sales here have peaked. They've got to their highest point when we get to growth. So growth here, the sales level off and they've peaked, and then we come into saturation. Now saturation is when the sales start to decrease. Now what do we mean by that word saturation? Well, the analogy I like to use is a sponge. If you keep adding water to a sponge, like here you keep adding water, the sponge just keeps soaking it up. Well, eventually the sponge becomes saturated. Once the sponge becomes saturated, it becomes full, then the water starts to fall out of the bottom. Now, in this particular market, what is it full with or by? Well, because this product has done so well, it's making loads of money, it's having a fantastic time, the business is doing really, really well out of this product. Other competitors want a slice of the action. They want to get involved. They want a piece of the cake that's on offer. They want to start making some of this money. So the market becomes saturated with competitors. It becomes full. We've got many, many competing products, and now our sales of our business starts to fall when it becomes saturated. Eventually, the product just starts becoming old. We've got lots of competitors, and eventually it begins to decline. Okay? So if I go back to the iPhone example, so the iPhone 7 has just been launched at this moment in time, so the iPhone 7 would be there. The iPhone 6, I would say, is up here, going into saturation. So it's full. We've got the Samsung out there now. There's lots of competitors. The iPhone 6 is saturated. The iPhone 5 would be down here, be declining. So that's an old product now. Not so many people are interested in it. So the iPhone 5, the sales are definitely declining. The 4 would be down here somewhere. I think sales in that are almost finished. And then if you think about the older phones, the 3G, etc., they're finished. They're gone off of here. Now, businesses always want their sales to be as high as possible. And they definitely do not want this to happen. They do not want sales to be falling, because this is bad news for a business. They've got less sales, that means less sales revenue and less profit. So we have extension strategies where we try to stop this and we try to get sales to go back up again. Now, how can we get sales to go back up? Well, Apple does this all the time. They add extra features to their product. So the 7 becomes a 7S, and it's got a newer camera, a better quality screen. So they start adding extra features to their product. How else can we get sales to go back up? Well, maybe you're only selling your product in one country. So you're only selling your product in Qatar, and Qatar is now saturated, it's full. So we can start looking at other countries, other geographical locations, and start targeting Dubai or Asia or Europe. There we can start focusing on other target markets, other geographical locations, okay? So the key here is, guys, we need to link our extension strategy to targeting new markets, targeting new customers, whether it's adding new features, etc. If you want to say lowering the price, you can, but again, you have to link that to targeting new types of customers. So if the price goes down, who are we now targeting? Well, we're now targeting low-income customers. So that's a new target market that we're trying to target. If we create a higher quality, high-class version, then we're targeting high-income customers, okay? But the key here, guys, is our market is saturated. The current market is saturated. Sales are falling, and we now need to start targeting new customers with our particular products, okay? Okay, the last part of product is thinking about the packaging of the product as well. Now, the packaging can be used as an extension strategy if you start improving the quality of the packaging, making it nicer packaging to start targeting other types of customers. But packaging plays a role as well in obviously protecting the product. So there are many considerations that we have to make with packaging. So the considerations are the weight and shape of the packaging. It needs to be able to fit the product inside. It needs to be lightweight because you've got to transport the product. You don't want the packaging weighing too much. It needs to protect the product, stop it getting dirty or damaged. In particular, if it's food, it needs to be able to protect the product as well to make sure that the food is not contaminated with bacteria. It needs to be convenient and easy to open, which is what I put here, guys, with the Heinz tomato soup. They've got the new can where you have the ring pull, rather than trying to mess around using a tin opener, which is very, very awkward. That's much more convenient, it's much more easier to open that type of packaging. The design, the product needs to be eye-catching. People need to be able to see it on the shelf. It needs to stand out from the competition. You want your product to look the best and the most eye-catching so people see it. It needs to contain information about the product, especially food again as well. It needs to contain things like the nutritional contents, the expiry date, but any product, it needs to tell the customer about the product. What is the product? What does it do? What features does it have? And businesses are paying more and more attention now to environmental factors with the packaging as well. Can it be recycled? Is it made of recycled material? Etc. for packaging. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I'll see you next time.